What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. We're back here covering the 2020 election fraud, and today we have more about Dominion voting systems and their ties to the Clintons. So this deals back with Antrim County and how we saw 6,000 votes switched from a Republican to the Democrat candidate, Joe Biden, old Sleepy Joe. The glitches were caught and reported, and Antrim County had to hand count all ballots. It should always be that way. We should never use a machine, hand count it, and have a Republican and a Democrat judge. Now here's a doozy that probably will not surprise anybody. During a congressional testimony in January, the CEO of Dominion Voting Systems, John Pelosis, claimed that the components of the voting machine are in fact from China. There are some from China. And we know about China Joe and old Hunter. They love their dealings with China. So some of those parts come from China. It's not unique to the voting equipment industry, but it should be alarming to any American patriot. He goes on to claim that some of the components of the voting machines do not have an option to be manufactured in the United States. Very convenient. There are so many articles online that show even Democrat politicians that are concerned with the authenticity, legitimacy, and honesty of these voting machines. And that's brought up here in this article. The supply chain security, you don't know what's coming from China, whether it's legitimate or not, if it's going to function as intended, or if there will be some shenanigans. We can see Dominion was used in basically every controversial swing state: Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, Nevada, Minnesota, and Maricopa County, Arizona. And now here is the absolute doozy of all doozies. Dominion Voting Systems has ties to prominent Democrats, including former House Speaker, thank goodness, Nancy Pelosi, and Bill and Hillary Clinton. They go on to mention that Dominion hired a lobbying firm that has long served Nancy Pelosi, former Speaker of the House, thank goodness. And in 2014, they definitely screwed up by mentioning this. This was listed in the Washington Post as having donated between $25,000 to $50,000 to the Clinton Foundation. And Dominion really started gaining traction and becoming a big company, unfortunately, during the Obama administration. So they foolishly went on public record disclosing this donation, but how much did they donate off record? I'd love to know the answer to that question. It goes on to discuss that in Oakland County, Michigan, even more votes were switched from the Republican candidate, Mr. Donald J. Trump, to the Democrat candidate, old Sleepy Dementia Joe. Of course, again, switches from the Republican to the Democrat. We never hear anything of the vice versa. And of course, Dominion Voting Systems decided to upload something last night, which is not normal, and it caused a glitch. And that's why we found voting machines crashing in Michigan and Georgia. Coincidentally, the ones that also switched votes from Trump to Sleepy Joe, they happened to crash, and during those crashes, of course, a bunch of paper ballots just magically appear, and old Sleepy Joe, China Joe Biden gets hundreds of thousands of votes, compared to Trump's maybe thousands, maybe 10,000. Again, statistically so improbable, we should basically consider it impossible. And to conclude the article, we see that Dominion, of course, they didn't respond to a request to comment because innocent people just, they don't comment on things. They hide. That's how that works. But all right, nice short and sweet article. We'll go back up here. Because this, foolishly, was published in the Washington Post. Donated $25,000 to $50,000 to the Clintons in 2014. And to reiterate, Dominion Voting System became big during the Obama administration. May he piss off to whatever sulfur pit in hell. To any real conservative, American-loving patriot. It should be absolutely alarming to every American citizen, conservative, patriot, every single person in America that our voting systems, our voting machines, the companies that assemble them, that run them, that make the software, can be partisan. They can be partisan. They can have a party that they support. That should be the biggest red flags of red flags. Everything should be manufactured in the United States. Any foreign country should not touch any single part of our voting machines, their actual hardware, the software, none of it. Future articles will most certainly cover topics regarding European countries interfering with our election, signed affidavits, confessions regarding European countries, foreign countries interfering in our election. It is an absolute pressing matter to have all of our election hardware and software manufactured in the United States of America with the utmost scrutiny. As always, thanks for tuning in for this video. I know this one was a bit shorter, but it still contained good information tying the Clintons to Dominion voting software and the Pelosis, and we'll cover Feinstein in the future. It'd mean a lot for this channel, the growth of it, helping to expose the 2020 election fraud if anyone would like, comment, and subscribe. But as always, maybe it had to be this way.